Shalom. Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors be unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Barakatham to the hopefully elect. Just a quick video here. I came across this article dealing with these what the title here says, truck drivers supplying Whole Foods groceries threaten to strike over COVID-19 safety concerns. All right, and just thought I'd do a quick video on it because pretty much with everything that's going on, all right, pretty much the stage is being set for all the judgments, the said judgments. Yahweh Bashim Shai pretty much gave us warning about, and one of those judgments, all right, one of his plagues, is that of famine. All right, and I just recently did a video a couple of days ago dealing with pretty much over there in Africa, how they pretty much they're running out of food. All right, so again, with all these things that are going on, man, like I said, the stage is being set. All right, and like I said, I figured this ties into prophecy because as things get more and more hectic, all right, here it is, we're about to enter into another shutdown, and supposedly the cases, the COVID cases are back on the rise, and there's even reports about how this in Lord's will I do a video on it, but there's reports on how pretty much this disease, I don't know, I'm not sure, again, I gotta double check, and Lord's will I do a video on it, but I don't know if it's dealing with COVID or some other disease out there. It's pretty much how it mutated. All right, so, and again, here it is, being that we're in the winter season, and this is the time where people, they're more prone to catching these, getting sick and things of this nature. So it's all tying in, and like I said, the stage is being set. All right, the pieces are coming together more and more, and this is just another one of those things. How it fits in. All right, because you got more and more of these truck drivers going on strike. All right, and a lot of these truck drivers in earlier this year, they were going on strike. They didn't want to enter into certain cities when this whole talk of defunding the police came about. All right, and a lot of these truck drivers, they didn't want to enter certain cities because they pretty much didn't have local law enforcement. All right, and if you've been paying attention, all right, there's been videos coming out dealing with these truck drivers, pretty much being attacked, all right, and ransacked. All right, so a lot of these truck drivers, man, they're just gonna eventually, man, they're just gonna end up saying the hell with it all, and again, that's part of how it's gonna lead to a famine, because again, these truck drivers, they're the ones that are supplying the goods to these stores. All right, so once these truck drivers pretty much say to hell with it, all right, eventually, man, it's going to get to a point where these stores, they don't have enough food and supplies, and again, that's going to lead to a famine. All right, so again, that's why I just decided to do a quick video here in this article, because it all ties in. But again, from the top, it says, truck drivers supplying Whole Foods groceries threaten to strike over COVID-19 safety concerns. And I'm not going to read the whole article. Lord's will, if I remember, I'll leave the link in the description. But without further ado, here it says more than 100 drivers in New York State who were members of the Teamsters Local 445 labor union have expressed their intent to go on strike over the COVID-19 safety concerns. According to union members, their employer, United Natural Foods, which supplies Whole Foods, has failed to provide them protective equipment and has not disinfected their trucks in months. Initially, UNFI was providing these supplies, but then it fell by the wayside this summer, said UNFI driver Martin Perry in an interview with the New York Post. The drivers have been cleaning their own trucks and buying their own equipment. Perry and 120 other drivers would usually pick up items at UNFI's distribution center at Montgomery and Y before delivering them to about 30 Whole Foods stores and Stop and Shop supermarkets in the state and nearby New Jersey and Connecticut. The driver added that his truck is typically loaded with paper products, organic frozen foods, seltzer water, rice, pasta, and condiments. Local 445 President Dan Maldonado said talks between the union and UNFI have been tense over the past couple of weeks, with a federal mediator being brought in to help. And also on another note, because a lot of these truck drivers, they're pretty much, because, a lot of times they show in the movie, these truck drivers are pretty much communicating. They got the little radios and whatnot. So, and I'm just saying this as a man, a lot of these truck drivers, man, when they're driving on these roads or whatnot, pretty much they're like a little clique. They pretty much look out to one another and things of that nature. So, and like I said, I say this as a man, but I say this to say that, because we know and understand that once one thing happens in one place, it's going to spread throughout. So, you're going to have these truck drivers going on strike over here, or what I would believe they said it was in New York. But like I said, because these truck drivers, they pretty much, pretty much look out to one another and whatnot, things of that nature. Eventually, it could possibly spread throughout. All right, so that's just on another note. So reading on, it says, however, the dispute reached a boiling point over the weekend when the union's contract ended November 3rd and members voted to authorize a strike the next day. Aside from health and safety concerns, Maldonado said UNFI drivers complained the company was requesting them to work more 10-hour days. We are trying to reduce the hours they work, he told the Post. According to the union's drivers who have been with the company are paid an hourly rate of $28.94. UNFI expressed readiness for any strike. In a statement, UNFI spokesman Jeff Swanson said that the company will continue adhering to guidelines put forward by the Centers for Disease Control, or CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. It says, in addition, he said that it is also investing in an industry-leading safety effort to protect associates amid the ongoing pandemic. A strike would be ill-timed for supermarkets that are already struggling with supply issues ever since the pandemic began and are now bracing for a second wave of coronavirus infections. Like I said, because another lockdown, man, and that's pretty much going to be it for these businesses that are already struggling as it is. All right, another lockdown, man, it's going to completely wipe them out, which of course the elites, that's what they want. All right, they want to pretty much knock out the middle class. All right, because when you read about in Revelations, the 13th chapter, it talks about the rich and poor. All right, that doesn't involve the middle class. So these, your local moms and pop stores and these small businesses, all right, those that survived, all right, like I said, with another shutdown, man, because the first shutdown, it was detrimental, it was very damaging to the economy, right? That's why they put on this facade of these stimulus checks, to give people this quote unquote free money to pretty much, go out there and buy so they can pretty much, pretty much put back into the economy. Right, because again, the first lockdown, man, the economy, it suffered greatly, and ever since that first shutdown, man, a lot of stores, went out of business. A lot of these businesses that barely survived, all right, and they're still barely making it, all right. They're barely, getting by. So with another shutdown, all right, that's going to completely wipe things out. But nevertheless, the point being that these businesses, all right, that are barely struggling as it is, all right, If these food trucks they going, or these food drivers, the ones supplying them these goods, all right. Once they go on strike, all right, that's gonna that's gonna hurt the economy even more, because again, these truck drivers are, all right, they're the ones supplying the supplies to these grocery stores and things of that nature. All right. So it says, despite the threat of a strike, Swanson remarked that Unify has robust contingency plans with third-party distributors. Meanwhile, Swanson accused the union of disseminating falsehoods and shamelessly exploiting the pandemic in an effort to try gaining negotiating leverage. He added that the company presented a long-term contract offer to the drivers this week, which included annual wage increases, highly competitive benefits, and strong work flexibility. Whole Foods did not respond to the Post's request for comment. And I believe, that was it on that. That's all I wanted to get on that. But basically, all right, pretty much, everything that I said, to sum it up, all right, these businesses, man, they're already suffering enough, and once these because if you go to certain stores, man, and some stores, man, they don't have as much supplies in stock as to say before the whole pandemic. So again, another blow, man, to the economy, man. That's gonna knock a lot of these places out, man. And again, this whole food truck drivers going on strike, man. That's just more fuel to the fire. Because like I said, the stage is being set, and all these things that's going on, like you got these swarm of locusts plaguing certain areas. All right, that's a part of the stage being set, the fire to the field. All right, that's a part of the stage being set for a famine to take place. All right. These like in certain places throughout, all right, you got farmers euthanizing their crops and their cattle and things of that nature. That's part of the fuel to the fire, and that's part of the stage being set for a famine. All right, some certain meat markets and factories are closing down. All right, the stage is being set for a great famine to take place. All right, because like I said, that's one of the plagues from Yahweh Shem El Shai is famine. All right, because like I stated before in the previous video, man, a famine, man, that's a horrible way to go. That's a horrible way to die. The scriptures say it's better to die by the sword than to die by famine. All right, because that's a horrible way to go, man. So don't intend to make this long. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into a few precepts. I don't know what the hell this is. Okay. So few precepts got lined up. 1 Kings 8 and see, because again, man, in order to not be a partaker of these plagues that Yahweh Shem Shai has set up, all right, that's about to ensue this place. All right, we got to be seeking repentance. All right, those that are crying out to Yahweh Shem Shai, man, the Lord is hearing the afflictions of his people, because these jakes, man, they're not taking things serious. All right, the scripture it tells you that in the Apocrypha, how the Lord sends these scourges as an amendment. This is supposed to be a wake-up call. All these things that are taking place, all these things that are going on. All right, the Lord is shaking the earth. He's visiting this place. And that's, like I said, that's supposed to be an eye opener for Jake to realize, man, this is something's going on. This is of a higher power. And with that, you're supposed to take the time out and try to make amends with Yahweh Shem Shai. You're supposed to take this time out to get right with Yahweh Shem Shai. But again, Jake, they're not going to take these things serious because they're still living in the house. They're still in the house of feasting and partying and living it up. And these are going to be the jakes that get consumed by these things. All right. So reading here, 1 Kings 8, starting at verse 33, says, when thy people Israel be smitten down before the enemy, because they have sinned against thee, and shall turn again to thee and confess thy name and pray and make supplication unto thee in this house. So again, because we've all sinned. We've all come short. We're paying. We're all paying for sins that we've committed. You know, but again, only a certain a small group of individuals is actually taking the time out to repent and trying to get on the good side of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, and for those, all right, those individuals, read verse 34, it says, "Then hear thou in heaven and forgive the sin of thy people Israel, and bring them again unto the land which thou gavest unto their fathers." Yeah, and that's going into more so the elect, all right, because they're going to be the functioning body, all right, they're going to be those virgins, all right. Um, so again, because those that are crying out, those that are confessing their sins and their transgressions daily, all right, those are the ones, this is King Solomon here, if I'm not mistaken. King Solomon, um, he's praying to Yahweh Shem Shai, which, well, if you have the ears to hear, King Solomon was Yahweh Shai. All right, but yeah, this is King Solomon, all right, and he's crying out to the Heavenly Father, this is the prayer of King Solomon. Where was I at? Verse 35 again. It says, "When heaven is shut up and there is no rain because they have sinned." When heaven is shut up and there is no rain because they have sinned against thee, if they pray toward this place and confess thy name and turn from their sin when thou afflictest them, then hear thou in heaven and forgive the sins of thy servants and of the people Israel, of thy people Israel, that thou teach them the good way wherein they should walk, and give rain upon thy land, which thou hast given to them, which thou hast given to thy people for an inheritance. If there be in the land famine, if there be pestilence, blasting, mildew, locust, or if there be caterpillar, if their enemy besiege them in the land of their cities, whatsoever plague, whatsoever sickness there be, what prayer and supplication soever be made by any man or by all thy people Israel, which shall know every man the plague of his own heart, and spread forth his hand toward this house, then hear thou in heaven thy dwelling place, and forgive and do, and give to every man according to his ways, whose heart thou knowest. For thou, even thou only knowest the hearts of all the children of men. So you see, all right, because again, if you sincerely, seeking Yahweh Shai's mercy, again, you send your daily supplications up, all right. Yahweh Shem Shai, he hears you, and he's not gonna ignore you, all right. And even more so, when there's a famine, all right, and they, because again, that's what's taking place now, all right. The siege, that's what it says here in where was that at? In verse 37, I'm gonna read the verse again. It says, "If there be in the land famine, if there be pestilence, blasting, mildew, locusts, or if there be caterpillar, if their enemy besiege them in the land of their cities." Again, that's what's slowly but surely that's what's taking place. All right, slowly but surely they're going to start besieging these cities. They're going to start cutting these cities off. All right, which again, that's more fuel to the fire, because once they cut these cities off more and more, all right, you're gonna these truck drivers. They're not going to be able to come in or come out. They're not going to be able to deliver these goods to these stores, these supermarkets and things of that nature. All right, and that's in turn that's going to take away the supply of these stores more and more. All right, these stores are going to start becoming more and more dry. All right, but again, because Yahweh Shem Shai is going to take care of his men, his elect, those that are crying out to him, and that's diligently and sincerely seeking his forgiveness. All right, Yahweh Shem Shai is he's gonna watch over them and take care of them. All right, because again, this is well, actually, when you read on verse 37, it says, whatsoever plague, whatsoever sickness there be. Because again, famine, that's one of the plagues of Yahweh Shem Shai. All right. And as well as, sicknesses and weather disasters, tornadoes, and all these things, man. They're all plagues of Yahweh Shem Shai. And, I'm just touching on one of these plagues, one of the many ways that Yahweh Shem Shai will send judgment. All right. Plagues. Because again, these are the things that are going to take place here in America. All right. Great famine. All right. Job 5:20, Because like I said, when it comes to the elect, man, it's gonna look, it's gonna get real scary out here, man. You might be put in a position to where you don't know where your next meal is gonna come, but somehow, some way, eventually, all right, Yahweh Shemel Shai, he's gonna feed you, man. All right, when you read this in Job 5:20, it says, "In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword." All right, so all the plagues that Yahweh Shemel Shai is gonna send on this place, he's gonna protect his men. All right. And even in famine, when you read throughout the Bible, man, there's plenty of stories and examples how, the Lord delivered his men from famine. All right. You got accounts about teleportation. All right. When you read about Daniel, all right. I forgot who the prophet was. The other I believe it was Habakkuk, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, teleported one of these prophets, one man of the Lord teleported him and brought food to Daniel during the time of famine. All right, stuff like that's going to be happening. You read about how birds dropping food off to the prophets. You read about how angels cooking food for the prophets, for the men of the Lord. All right, these things are going to be taking place again, and this is why in Romans 15:4, Yahweh Shemel Shai, this is why you left these words here for us, man, for us to learn from and to give us encouragement. Because again, man, it's going to look slim. You're not going to know when your next meal is going to come from. You're going to have you might have a family. You might have your wife, your children, they're sitting there starving, and ultimately, that's going to be a part of your test. What are you going to do? Because again, a lot of these famines, man, they're controlled, believe it or not. Esau, Edom, a lot of these famines, they're controlled by Esau, Edom. All right, because he wants to put you in a position to where you have to go to him. And in order to eat, all right, out of the hand of Esau, you're going to have to take that microchip. That's why, again, pursuant to Revelation 13, it says, and he calls it all, both small and great. All right. He's going to call something. He's going to put everyone in a position to where you have to, you got to go to him. And in order to eat, in order to do anything, you got to take that chip. All right. He's going to put the squeeze on this place so tight. He's going to squeeze this place so tight. All right. Put the pressure on so tight. All right. You again, man, you're not going to know where your next meal is going to come from. And again, it's going to be to, it's going to be a test for you, because like I said, you could have your woman, your children, they're starving, and what are you going to do? You're going to wait on Yahweh Shemel Shai, cry out to Yahweh Shemel Shai, or you're going to go to Esau, Edom, and take that mark just to prolong your life just a little longer, but nevertheless, either way, it's written and it's set up that the elect are not going to take that chip, and they're going to be taken care of even during the time of famine. The Lord's going to watch over his men, his elect. All right, so reading on down, verse 21, it says, "Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of the destruction when it cometh. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth." So you see, when all hell's breaking loose, all right, because we took the time out to cry to Yahweh Shemel Shai, we're seeking his mercy and desperately asking for his forgiveness. We're constantly bugging the Lord, please forgive us. We're not going to be condemned with the world when all hell breaks loose and these judgments, these plagues are released. All right. Because we dealt with our hell. We presented our bodies living sacrifices. We took the time out now to fast and do what's required of us to the best of our abilities. We took the time out now, all right, because Yahweh Shemel Shai, he's gonna make people fast, man. He's gonna make people go on a fast, and it's not gonna be good for them, because again, man, these plagues, man, they're gonna catch that. It's just one of those things, man. It's gonna catch you like a thief in the night, man. The Lord is about to catch a lot of these people. He's gonna catch these people slipping, man, when they least expect it. All right. So the next precept. This is the last precept, and I'm going to go to the Apocrypha, Ezekiel 6:11. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh thy power, smite with thine hand, and stamp with thy foot, and say, Alas, for all the evil abominations of the house of Israel, for they shall fall by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence." So you see, all right, you're gonna have different race wars and people getting shot down and just it's gonna be a slaughterhouse. It's gonna be a bloodbath here in America very soon. And on top of that, you're gonna have famine. All right, you're gonna have pestilences. All right, whether they're man-made, Esau Edom, whether he releases something out there, which some of the brothers, some of the elders, all right, they believe that Esau Edom, because they're talking about the dark winter. We're entering into a dark winter, and like I said, it's no coincidence now. The COVID cases are spiking again, and they're getting ready for a second lockdown. Esau Edom could very well make his move, and he could very well release something, that's because people are going to start dropping dead. He could very well release the real deal. All right, because we've been saying time in and time out throughout this whole year. All right, this whole pandemic is been nothing but a prelude, a precursor to what's going to go what's going to go down. All right, but nevertheless, whether they're man-made, whether they're sent from Yahweh Shemel Shai directly, either way, all right, these are all plagues from Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. Verse 12, it says, "He that is far off shall die of the pestilence, and he that is near shall fall by the sword, and he that remaineth and is besieged shall die by the famine. Thus will I accomplish my fury upon them." So you see again, because once they start besieging this place, all right, resources, man, they're going to become more and more lack. They're going to become more and more limited. All right, you got this chick, what's her name, Camila Harris, talking about damn, I forgot what the word I forgot the term, but basically, they want to limit, because you got this whole quote unquote globalism problem and things of that nature. They pretty much want to limit pretty much the food and resources that each household has, each family. They want to limit, and there have been talks about them going back to, because when the whole first lockdown, you had long lines. You can only grab a certain amount of items per family, per household, and that's what they want to do. Again, that's what they want to bring back. All right. And again, how much more so when these food trucks, when these truck drivers, when they stop coming through the cities and delivering these supplies, how much more then? Again, because this is all it's all gonna lead to a famine, man. These truck drivers, man, if they stop coming through, man, if they go on strike and they say the hell with that, man, again, it's just more fuel to the fire. The stage is being set for a great famine, mass famine. All right, all the pieces are being put together. All right, and this is what the prophets out here warning. We're warning the people. We're sounding the alarm. We're lifting up that banner. All right, this is what's going to take place. And again, before I forget, let me get this in 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter. Starting at verse 2nd Esdras 15 and verse 19, it says, "A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation." So yeah, all right, things are going to get so bad that, hey man, you neighbors that were once cool with each other, they might have grown up with each other, but in that day, man, friends are going to become foes. All right, very soon, man, it's going to be a dog eat dog world out here, and people, man, they're going to rob the next man for what he's got. Whether he has a family, he could have a pregnant wife. They're not going to give a shit in that day. All right, it's going to be about me and mines. All right, everyone's going to be for themselves in that day, and that's what the scriptures say, man. Perilous times that we're coming into. You can read about that in 2 Timothy. It's perilous times we're coming into. All right, people, they're going to be lovers of themselves. They're going to be worrying about themselves. All right, you're going to have people banding up in cliques. You watch these different movies like The Road and The Book of Eli. All right, these different TV shows like The Walking Dead, where you got these groups of people, they're pretty much traveling from city to city, street to street, house to house, looking for supplies. You watch that game. What's that game? Damn, what's that game? Oh man, I forgot. I forgot that game. But it's a video game. But pretty much, all these TV shows and movies and video games, they depict these things. People banding up together, and they got their guns and their bats and whatever type of weapons. All right, traveling from place to place, looking for resources, because that's how bad it's gonna get. All right. And again, best believe, man, whatever you got, man, the next man, he's gonna be looking at you like he's gonna be looking at you for what you got, and he's not gonna give a damn. He's gonna, one way or the other, man. He's the next man. They're gonna be worried about how they can get theirs. All right, because again, man, dangerous times that we're coming into, and this is why, again, we're praying to Yahweh Shemel Shai that we're saved out of this. We're praying that Yahweh Shemel Shai has mercy upon us, and we're saved, we're preserved from these judgments, man, because they're horrible judgments are set for this place. Horrible judgments. All right, things we can't fathom. All right, cannibalism, we talk about that time and time out. All right, cannibalism is coming back. It's going to get so bad that you're going to have people eating one another, man. All right. And when I talk about cannibalism, man, I always think about that one scene in the movie called the Road, like I mentioned, all right, where they came to the house. You had the father and the son. They came to the house. They thought it was just an empty house, abandoned house, but come to find out, there's a basement full of people, and they were pretty much being reserved for food. It's pretty much a storage house. Like a fridge, but just full of people. They were, and you see the movie, man, they're all skinny and weak, all right, desperate, but they were being saved for food. They were being preserved for food. All right, that's how bad things are going to get in these times that we're coming into. But again, Lord's will, we're of that number, so we don't have to deal with these things, man. So just to see if I had anything else on an article. That might have been it. Actually, yeah, that was it. So yeah, these are just things to constantly be on the lookout for. All right, the stage is being set for a great famine to take place, man. All right, and Yahweh Shemir Shah, Lord's will, Yahweh Tzah, we're of that number, man. The Lord shows us mercy. May the blessing of election be upon you and your households, Lord's will, because it's going to get bad out here, man. It's going to get real bad. It's going to get real scary. But nevertheless, Yahweh Shemir Shah didn't give us that spirit of fearfulness, because these people, man, they're in for a rude awakening. Here it is. We're trying to look out for our people. We're trying to warn them and tell them of these things, not for their not because we hate them, but we do this out of love. But nevertheless, just steady, we're steady getting laughed at and scoffed at. All right, people are just steady talking shit. I just had a because I made a post about pretty much Joe Biden, how he's, because the talk has been amongst the brothers have been doing videos on it. And I mentioned something about how Biden, if Biden gets to the office, man, he's gonna mandate that microchip. And I had some silly woman comment, make a comment, all right, just pretty much because I'm sure she voted for Biden. She pretty much tried to bring out the point that pretty much it was a lie, and which was it was foolishness, because I posted the video of Biden saying it, and she pretty much said that it was a lie, that actually Trump is the one that's talking about microchip. And I told the silly woman, both of them talk about microchipping people, because they're all the same, the two feathers of the same bird. They're all in they pretty much all work for the same team, but nevertheless, they're pretty much selling you this illusion, all right, trying to sweet talk you people, And I only mentioned Biden because the majority of our people are voting for him. But nevertheless, silly woman trying to, talk shit, and downplay it and everything. I said, well, all right, man, that's cool. You believe in what you believe in, But nevertheless, the point being that, we're trying to warn our people of these things, man, and they're steady talking shit, man. And again, these are going to be the same people that are going to get caught up in these judgments, man. Horrible way to go out for these people. So that was it on that. Just some more things to continue to be on the watch for. So hopefully this was edifying. And once again, I'm gonna give all credit to you. How about you, Shai? Double honors to the apostles and others of great millstone. And until next time, I say shalom.